gratitude, all that I am and ever hope to be. I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. With His blood He has saved me. With His power my God raised me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. And as I live my life, let it be pleasing, Lord, to Thee. And should I gain any praise, let it go to Calvary, Calvary. With His blood He has saved me. With His power my God raised me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. He has done.
I think we are. On midday this week, I've been telling you that August is National Good Nutrition Month, and today in our studios we have Sheila McGregor from the Community Hospital of Calhoun County and Mrs. Frances Talbot from Oxford, Mississippi. She is a registered dietitian and a consultant dietitian for the Hospital of Calhoun County. And I want to just welcome both of you to midday.
Well,
we really appreciate you coming, and we have a lot of stuff to cover that's going to really be informative to our viewers, wouldn't you think?
I hope so.
You hope so. Okay, the first thing we have to cover with you is the Nutritional Month motto this year is say yes to less salt, less sugar, and less fat. A health plan. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, we think that this is a good model for all of us to abide by. Eat less, really, because in the American community, we all eat much more than we need for good nutrition. We've emphasized the less salt, less fat, and less sugar because those are the three things that do so much harm, especially the community that have hypertension. The salt is a real thing that they have to watch. The less sugar, we are idle calories, and so many people that are obese, if they cut back on their sugar, they're better. And in late life, so many folks go into diabetes, and with the less sugar, that is a step forward to preventing that. And the less fat we emphasize, particularly with those that are coronary carriers, because with excess fats, it's deposited as fat in the arteries and clogs them. A good active person doesn't necessarily have to worry about that. But to be safe, if we would go ahead with that, less salt, less sugar, less fat, in the back of our mind at all times in choosing our food, we really come out better. And this is why we chose that motto, which we think is really good.
That's really good. It sure is. Okay, Ms. McGregor, the Women's Journal and other news media seem to come up with a new reduction diet every month. Why is this, and do they really work?
Well, I think that most time we just have too much food and to pick from and not enough knowledge to be able to make the wise choices. we read that about 80 million Americans are overweight. Their doctors consider them overweight, and about 20 million of these people are obese, and they run this high risk of having some of the diseases Ms. Talbert just talked about here. And we need to remember that there is no shortcuts in losing weight safely, that a sensible reducing plan is just to cut down on our calories, but not to cut down on nutrients. We still need to get a balanced diet. It should still conform to the selection of food from our 4 basic food groups. We need to set a goal for a desirable weight and only expect to lose about 1 to 2 pounds a week. Now, some of these diets, they say you'll lose maybe 4 and 5 pounds a week, which that's not, you can't do that and do it safely. So we need to really lose weight and to keep our weight the same to make a lifelong change in food habits, and by that we would need to just pick a balanced diet, just kind of like that Ms. Talbert is going to show us here today, and not maybe just do it a week and then go back to our snacks and everything else the rest of the time, but make a lifelong habit of doing this. We think about, when we think about food, we think about it as being, it's so closely associated with pleasure that a good diet should provide all the nutrients, but it has to conform to some of our likes and our habits. And we should make a provision in this diet for snacking, because some snacks can be very healthy. Lots of people like raw carrots, which is a good snack that you could eat instead of potato chips. And we need to make provisions for eating in public places too. You can always pick a well-balanced, low-calorie diet there. And lots of people think they can lose weight by not eating breakfast, but that's a bad habit, because most people, they get so hungry before dinner, you see them with a Coke, maybe a piece of candy, and that's more calories than they would get if they ate a good breakfast, and then they wouldn't have the nutrients for this. So I think maybe what we should do is to, if we're in earnest about losing weight, is to see our physician and let him set up amount of calories that he thinks we should have for our daily intake, and then we would need to get somebody to help us count out these calories if we didn't know how, and then to follow this food plan of having just a well-balanced, nutritious diet.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You're pretty much saying that fad diets are not very effective.
No.
That you get on them, but it only lasts for a day or two, or maybe a week or two, and as soon as you go off, you immediately put back all the weight, because once you make a fat cell, even as a child, you never lose that fat cell. But if you go on a reduction diet, what you do is starve that fat cell, and that's how you lose. And then once you go on these fad quick diets, and then you go back to your food, you fill up those cells real fast.
Right.
And this is the seesaw that comes with fad diets.
And the people I see, they feel so deprived when they do it a few days. They feel so deprived. They get tired of it, and they won't stay with it.
That's right.
Right. Well, that's really interesting. I know a lot of people these days, or women that is going on crash diets, or no bread, no sweets or something.
Banana diet.
Banana diet, and even I've heard of a boiled egg diet, and I cannot imagine.
There's one out that says, you know, nothing but boiled eggs and grapefruit. But it gets horribly boring, and naturally they lose weight because the total intake is so bad.
That's something. Okay, well, we're going to come back with Mrs. Frances Talbert, and we're going to discuss what do you consider a well-balanced diet. So you stay tuned to midday, and we will return. We're still studying National Good Nutrition Month, and we're talking with Mrs. Frances Talbert again, and she's going to tell us what she considers a well-balanced diet.
It's not only what I consider a well-balanced diet, it's what is nationally and research-based considered to be a well-balanced diet. We hear so much today about take this vitamin, take this mineral to be healthy, take vitamin C to do colds and whatnot. Are these really necessary? We know from research that at least 40 nutrients are necessary for us to be in good nutritional state. However, we can eliminate all that and just remember a simple little guide, and we can be assured that we're on a well-balanced diet. If you notice in front of me here, I have a chart that gives the basic 4 groups. And if we should choose foods from each of these 4 major groups. One is the cereal group, which is bread and any of its related things such as cereals, cooked macaroni, rice, and so forth. It also includes things like corn and potatoes because they're very high in carbohydrate, and we include that in our bread and cereal. So we should choose 4 servings from that. Then we go to our fruits and our vegetables, and we should take at least 4 servings from that. Now, servings, we don't mean very big, like a half cup of a green thing. And you wondered me picking up this food. These are food models. But a half cup is considered a serving. All right, we need 4 servings from that group. And then we come to our milk. And every human should have daily 2 cups of milk or its equivalent. That could be such as cheese, cottage cheese, milk byproducts, any of that. But every individual from the time they're born until they die, to keep their body in a good state, should have that 2 glasses. As a child, an infant to 10 years, they should have 3 glasses. When we come to the preteen or the teenagers who are fast-growing, they need at least 4 glasses, also pregnant women. Why do we say milk so big? Because of calcium phosphorus, which builds our body bones. It's in our muscles. It's in our bloodstream. We need it in many, many reasons. All right, and then we go to the meat group, and we need 2 to 4 ounces. You know, we hear about these people that go out and get 8 and 16-ounce steaks. There's no need of that. To be nutritionally sound, all we need are 2 to 4 ounces. This is a 2-ounce portion of roast beef. You know, and 1 egg is equal to 1 ounce. So, you see, it's very easy to follow it. Let me go back then quickly. I've been talking. To be on a nutritionally sound diet, then, we need to take in 2 glasses of milk. It can be skimmed or its equivalent. We need 2 to 4 ounces of meat. That's red muscle meat, or it can be a substitute, chicken, fish, or cheese, even peanut butter. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter equals to 1 ounce of meat or 1 egg. All right, and then your 3 to 4 servings of fruits and vegetables, and at least 4 servings from the cereal group. That is simple. Now that is basic. This gives you all those 40 nutrients that we hear talked about so much, and it gives you the amount of protein that will build your body tissues. It will give you the fat that you need to assimilate some of your vitamins. It gives you all the vitamins and minerals you will need. The only thing that we might come up short is iron, unless you eat organ meats, such as liver or fat, or egg yolks. Now, if you need to have added calories, that's when you go to your increased amounts of foods from the cereal groups or the carbohydrate groups. You can add jellies, butter, margarine, salad dressing. All of those you would add for calories if you need more for energy. I think what I'm trying to point out is this is a well-balanced diet. It's the basis of a reduction diet. It's the basis of a complete diet for any working person or any living person. And the only thing, if you increase beyond this, you increase your calories. If you are energetic enough so that you burn up those calories, this is fine. If you're not energetic to where you burn up your extra calories, you store it in your body as fat. And this is why we have such a fat nation. We don't have a slim, gaunt nation, really? Unfortunately. It doesn't mean that you have to eliminate going to fast food places. You can, because you can go get yourself a hamburger. You can take, and maybe on a small bun, and you can have a small serving of French fries, which would take care of this part, but include yourself a milk drink, not a carbohydrate, Coke drink or one of those sugar drinks. And maybe have a piece of fruit, and you've got a good balanced diet. And even in a Pizza Hut, you know, we all like pizzas. There's nothing wrong with a serving of pizza. Have a piece of fruit and a glass of milk with it, and you've got a good balanced meal. I don't know whether I've made this clear or just jumbled it.
Really, you've done a good job. I think that maybe all of us can understand a well-balanced diet better, I think.
I hope that it's visible.
It is. I believe it is. Quickly, since both of you are from the hospital, what do you think of friends bringing food gifts to patients in the hospital?
Well, it's only natural when our friends or our family is sick that we want to do everything we can for them. And if we have something special to eat at home, of course we want to share that with them too. But it's not the wisest thing to do. In fact, we should never bring food directly to the patient. If it's being brought to the hospital, it should be checked with the nurse who's on charge, because there's reasons why maybe they shouldn't have it. Because some medicines doesn't mix well with certain foods. And then so many times the patient is scheduled for a test, and they send their order into the kitchen. Well, NPO, that means we don't feed them anything, maybe clear liquids. Well, a visitor wouldn't know that, and they should check. And if they eat the food, their test wouldn't come out right, and so they should check with them. And then another reason is that some diabetics, some people are on a diabetic diet, and their food has to be measured. They have to have a certain amount of calories so it will balance out with the insulin that's taken. And if they, I know some of the doctors have trouble keeping the blood sugar down, and they find out they've been eating other than the food that's been sent from the kitchen. And so that's very important, that diabetics should not have anything other than the food that's sent from the kitchen to keep their blood sugar down. And so I think, well, there's other reasons too, but I think maybe these are the ones that we think about most. So we could bring our loved one a note or a craft or a plant or something. Maybe that wouldn't mean as much until they get out of the hospital.
That's right. Well, I think we've covered a real good program on a well-balanced diet, and I'm just real proud that both of you could come and let the viewers know that there is good eating still around, and not just junk food, you know, that most people...
that term junk food,
right,
if chosen rightly, isn't junk food.
That's right, it really isn't. So I want to thank both of you for coming and doing just a fine job.
Well,
doing a real good
for
job.
this opportunity, really.
And just remember that August is National Good Nutrition Month, and from the Community Hospital of Calhoun County, feel better by eating better. This is Rita Paulin for News 7.
Five, 4, 3. Sawmilling wasn't the only thing going on at the Weyerhaeuser operations here in Bruce today. The Bruce employees got to reap some nice benefits for a job well done. It all started with a rib dinner which was prepared and served by the Bruce Mill Design team. This is Robert Doolittle. He's one of the cookers here today. Robert, how many pounds of ribs have y'all got to cook?
540 pounds.
And that'll feed how many people?
We estimate to feed 350 people.
350 people. Y'all going to be here a while, huh?
Well, we're broken up into 2 shifts. We're going to have 2 shifts cooking. We're going to cook. We started at 6 this morning, going to 5 this evening. Then second shift's going to start at 5 this evening and go until they finish feeding.
Tell us a little bit about the preparation of the ribs, what all you had to go through.
Well, we started boiling them yesterday. We boiled them all. We stored them in a cooler overnight. Then this morning we got them. And we started barbecuing them on the grills. Got the grills hot. Started about 6 o'clock this morning.
You already had your fill?
I've had a little.
You probably won't want any when you get through, huh?
I don't know. I won't want any for a while after I get through.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Later in the morning, a group from Weyerhaeuser's regional sales office arrived in Bruce. Jack Green, who is regional sales manager for the Miss-Isla region, was on hand to present a traveling customer service award to District Manager Dick Bullard, who recently moved to Bruce, and Plant Superintendent Ernie LaBarge.
Okay, Dick, I'd like for you to come forward, and Ernie. As the representative of the Hot Springs Trading Center, who are the sales agents for the Southern Lumber, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present this Region Award for company service and as it relates to how we are relating with our customers in the last, I guess, for the second quarter of this year. This is a brand new award that I think that every person in the region, and especially here at Bruce, can be very proud of. That this is only the second time it's been issued, and you had some really tough competition last quarter. But I think Bruce did a fantastic job, and I really think, I want to thank everyone at this facility for their help, because as we're the sales agent for you, and we move the product, but if y'all don't make it right, or don't ship it right, or put the wrong thing in the car and get a lot of customer complaints, you know, it just doesn't all work. And the teamwork that you guys have dealt in the last quarter has just been fantastic, and I want to thank every one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate that award. As Ernie keeps telling me, it takes everybody in the whole district to make this go, from the raw material guy buying the logs to the maintenance guy fixing the quad up there in the mill, the sawyers, the people in the planer, sorting and the drying and everything that goes on. It's really a total team effort. We're really proud to accept that, and thanks very much.
Okay, thank you.
Later we talked with Bullard and Green and Mr. LaVarge. Can you tell us what the criteria, if you will, is that is used to determine who gets this award?
Okay, the award is based on 6 criteria. I don't have a list of them right off, but basically it's a customer service kind of award, which is, we in the trading center have a whole room full of salesmen. There's some 25 salesmen in our trading center there that are actively soliciting for sales of Bruce product. And so we put a poll to them once a quarter and ask them to identify the mill, how the mill stacks up in different areas, and it would be such thing as inquiry responsiveness. When a customer says, hey, I want to buy some wood, but I need to pick it up tomorrow, you know, so we can make a quick call down here, and we always get good, fast responses from Gwen and anybody who's filling in for her and the staff, and that often is the difference in making a sale and not making a sale, is whether you can do this little something extra, either give him a quicker shipment or a little tally that matches him better as opposed to the normal tally, that sort of thing. So responsiveness to inquiries is one very important factor. Another thing is the product quality. And I would say in the past year that the product quality here at Bruce has just made fantastic strides forward. We used to have a very difficult time, quite frankly, in moving the product, and today it's recognized by our customers as very high quality. The other thing would be the packaging, and I think that the packaging, Bruce, I think, is one of the innovators in this new packaging format, and it identifies it as Bruce wood, and I think it just shows the pride of the whole organization in the wood that they're producing, and that follows all the way through the trading center and clear to the customer when he can get that wood and he knows where it came from, and it really stands out. So on-time shipments, whether we're constantly behind schedule, or that's another factor. So it's those type things that go into it.
Okay, we want to speak to Mr. Dick Bullard over here. He's got that award with him and proud of it, I'm sure. Mr. Bullard, maybe you'd like to give the viewers your feelings about winning this award.
Well, I'm real pleased to accept it. I was only here about 1 week during this quarter, and so I didn't have much to do with it myself. But it makes me very proud to associate with the people who won it. I just can't stress enough, it takes the whole Bruce team to win something like this. Ernie keeps telling me if those people out buying logs don't buy the right logs for the mill, and the merger driver doesn't merge them right, and they aren't sawed up right in the sawmill, the planer mill doesn't service them right and grade them right and treat them right, and if they aren't loaded properly in a timely manner, all has to go together to make this award possible for us. And I'm just real pleased to get it.
I guess you plan on I guess you plan on trying to hold on to it.
You betcha. You betcha. There's some people who comment already. They want to take this back that had the last quarter, and so people here want to hang on to it, and I'd sure like to hang on to it.
Okay, we wish everybody a lot of luck. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking to us.
Thank you.
The people at the Weyerhaeuser operations here in Bruce recently have started moving toward developing a better workplace for the employees and a more profitable operation for the company. You hear a lot of terms like team concept, working together, group problem solving, and preferred customer. supplier. This award appears to be the first fruits of that effort.
Well, for this group at least, the ribs are gone, the dinner's over, and it's time to get back to the business at hand, that being trying to keep that award here at the Bruce operations. And from the Weyerhaeuser operations here in Bruce, this is Gene Redwine for News 7.
Okay, 5, 4, 3. If you've been listening to Midday and some of the other local shows around here, we've been talking about the Bluegrass Festival at Sleepy Hollow that's coming up the 2nd and the 3rd of September with Mr. Bob Wheeler and everybody over there. And we have in our studios today Mr. Wheeler, and we're going to get him to fill us in on some of the things that's going on. Some of the groups going to be there and just general information about it. Mr. Bob, welcome to the program today.
Well, thank you, William. Appreciate it. Appreciate you inviting me down here. We're getting ready for our big 2nd annual Labor Day Sleepy Hollow Bluegrass Festival, and that's located 4.5 miles south of Houston, Mississippi at the intersection of 389 and Natchez Trace Parkway.
Right. Well, y'all have had several over there, haven't you?
Yes, this is about, we've been over there, we've had our 7th June festival. This is our 2nd fall festival. And we're looking forward to it. We've got a good lineup of talent. We want everybody to come out and be with us, take part in it.
Tell us about some of the talent that's going to be there, Mr. Wheeler.
All righty, we got the Knott Brothers from Memphis, Tennessee, Boone's Creek from Savannah, Tennessee, Uncle Elmo Reynolds, Hill Folks Bluegrass Band from Holcomb, the Great Sparks family gospel singers from Belmont, Mississippi, the Adams Brothers from Memphis, Tennessee, and little Kathy Barton and her husband Dave Parra from Columbia, Missouri. And also on the lineup is Spasmodic Bluegrass Convulsion from Toulouse, France. And boy, I'll tell you
us about them.
Well, I wish I knew something more to tell you, William. We're not sure that these folks are going to make it. We're still hoping that they will. They called us the other day and they've had a mix-up in their commitments over here. Somebody canceled out on them and they had to change their travel plans. And but we're still hoping they're going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, tell us a little bit about how to get there in case some of the people may not know exactly how to get to Sleepy Hollow.
All right, it's located 4.5 miles south of Houston. Just after you get to the square in Houston, just follow the signs. We usually have plenty of signs, and once you get to the southwest corner of the square in Houston, you won't have any trouble because we have some good signs to follow right on down to this place.
Follow the sign.
Right, follow the sign. And it's a beautiful place down there. In case anybody hadn't been down there, it's about 95% shaded, and that'll certainly be appreciated this time if it don't turn cool in a hurry.
How about the camping facilities and things of that nature?
We've got approximately 100 complete hookups, and of course most of them have already been taken up, but they still probably got a few. If somebody's got a camper, they need to call right away and they get a reservation down there, and we usually fill them up. But it's a beautiful place. It's one of the better places in the state of Mississippi as far as camping and for a bluegrass festival too.
I've been there. It is a real nice place, and I know a lot of good music goes on in those festivals because we've been to some of the ones you had there at Sleepy Hollow. You may want to give the phone number. Somebody might want to call you or whoever they need to call.
All right, before I do that, let me tell the folks that Sundown Productions here in Bruce will be doing the sound, and y'all have worked with us in the past and have done a mighty fine job, and I know you'll do a good job down there. You work bluegrass festivals, and you know how to work them and get the sound out to the people, and that's one of the most important parts of a festival. If you can't hear the bands up there, then they're just working for nothing.
That's true.
That's right.
We enjoy it.
All right, if anybody wants to know anything, they can call me at, I'm Bob Wheeler here. It says right here on this card right here. Yeah. Area code 601-983-7271. Or if they want to talk about a camper hookup, that's Mr. Jack Holloman at area code 601-456-4387. And he takes care of the camping.
Okay. You want to give the people one last chance to get there? What do you want to tell them that'll really get them out there?
Well, we're going to have one of the biggest shows down there we've ever had. That's where it's going to be happening, and we want everybody to come out and be with us because we can run a good, clean show down there. Absolutely no alcohol, drugs, or loose dogs. And we've had some good comments on the show, which we're proud of, and we want everybody to come out and be with us because we are going to have a good one. All good bluegrass and bluegrass gospel. Okay. And I think that the folks ought to come out and see little Kathy Barton. Her grandmother, Miss Ora Barton, lives here in Bruce, and I believe now she lives in Columbia.